What's up, everybody? Good evening. And we got some information from Macdonald. We got the practice report from the team. I know I'm a little bit late here. I know this came out maybe a little more than an hour ago, maybe even 2 hours ago at this point. But thought I'd go ahead and go over this because we do learn some new information from this stuff. And there's some stuff here that's actually kind of surprising. Usually, you wouldn't anticipate that the practice report tells you anything that the game report doesn't really, but there was actually some notable developments here. So let's go ahead and take a look at the injury report first, the practice report, who participated and how much, and then we'll go into some of the things that Macdonald said as well. I got this practice report from Dugar on X. Let's take a look. The DNP list included Metcalf, so Metcalf did not practice all week. And usually when you don't practice, you don't play. You got to practice at least a little bit now. I will say that Macdonald is priming the pump for him to at least be on the table, right? It's doubtful right now for the game. It's not out of the question 100% yet, so we'll take it to Sunday and then we'll go from there. So that, as a Seahawks fan, has to make you feel pretty good because it means that at the very least, he's got to be kind of close and that he can make it back for that Rams game. The fact that he has a chance to play on Sunday makes you feel like, at the very least, he can make it back for the Rams. So that's good. And it'd be great to have him. Of course, I trust this team to make a smart, intelligent, wise decision here and not shove him out there when he doesn't need to be out there, when he's not going to be able to help and only going to be able to hurt the team and himself. But the fact that he's even on the table, it does show you that he is built differently, right? It does tell you that he is built differently. Nehemiah Pritchett also did not participate in practice today, so that's kind of interesting, I would say, because remember, he's questionable. So to not practice on Friday, that kind of, I don't know, that puts me leaning in the direction of he's probably not going to play. But for reasons we'll get into later in this video, that may not be that big of a deal. Now, what would be a big deal would be Boye Mafe not playing in this game, and he did not participate in practice today with a knee injury, which is very odd because he doesn't even have a game status. So, yeah, okay, where did it? Yeah, Brady Henderson here talks about that a little bit, says that Mafe didn't practice, doesn't have a game designation, meaning he's expected to play, but you can't help but be a little bit alarmed by the fact that it's not a rest day, right? It doesn't say rest day. It says knee. And I know knee is the injury he had a month ago. Maybe they're just tossing that on there because they want to toss something on there and they wanted to give him a rest day. But I don't know. That's kind of interesting. It's not often you give a rest day on a Friday. Usually rest day is Wednesday, maybe Thursday, but usually Wednesday. Thursday's usually not the rest day unless you do like the Mike McCarthy thing where you have a walkthrough every Friday and you don't really have a full practice so the players are fresh, but we're not doing that. So very interesting that you wouldn't at least throw him on the report as questionable if this is something that actually flared up. Cam Young and Abe Lucas were both limited. Abe Lucas making progress, good to hear. I saw him on the field at the VMAC in a clip earlier today, but obviously Lucas is out. Young is doubtful regardless, and like I said, Young will not play that much on a healthy Seahawks defensive line. He is very much a reserve at this point, especially still recovering from the injury. Now, here's the interesting stuff that kicks in a little bit. Tre Brown, questionable, full participant today. Full participant. And according to Macdonald, Brown is likely to play. He was a full go after not practicing on Wednesday or Thursday. He said he's optimistic, though. So it sounds like Tre Brown will be back in the lineup. So that means not having Pritchett, if we don't have him, which at this point I would suspect we won't, is not that big of a deal. So Tre Brown, welcome back. Play well. That's what I can say about that, because this fan base is already kind of chomping at the bit. We do not need you to have another bad game and have those guys really get revved up, because Tre Brown's a good player. Tre Brown's a good player, man. And he wants that contract next year, and if he wants it, he's got to go out there and earn it. You got to play to get that pay. So, sounds like Tre Brown's good. Also notable, Mike Morris was a full participant, so probably going to be able to play. Again, he's not somebody who plays that much anyway. But if he's a full participant on Friday, I would expect him to play on Sunday. But we will see what happens. Maybe we declare him inactive just because we don't particularly need him. Ken Walker, full participant. George Fant, full participant. And there is some buzz, by the way, that George Fant could be activated before this game. Earlier today, it was noted by Greg Bell that the Seahawks have 52 men currently on their 53-man roster, so you could activate Fant, and that could be your 53rd guy. There are a couple other things you could do as well, like we got Ty Okada back on the practice squad today and released Ezekiel Turner to make room for him. Maybe Okada gets activated because he was active on Sunday against Atlanta. So maybe Okada just gets bumped right back up. So that's going to be interesting to see. However, it should be noted that Macdonald has already said that Jerrell will start at right tackle regardless of that. So for this game, what may happen is that Jerrell starts and Fant is like the emergency backup that they don't really want to have to use because they don't think he's where he needs to be yet all the way. But, you know, desperate times, desperate measures. And this is kind of a desperate time because we're out of right tackles at this point pretty much, right? It's Jason Peters or a somewhat less than 100% George Fant. That might be the decision this team has to make here. So, Jerrell will play. That's another thing that's kind of interesting from the Macdonald press conference. So, if you were wondering about that, it does look like we're getting Jerrell. And I think that is really about it in terms of the notable updates here. Woolen, full participant, if you were wondering about that at all. But he's not even listed on the report, so he's as close to 100% as you're going to be. Williams, full participant. Love, full participant. Brady Russell, Jarek Reed. So not a lot going on there that we're really worried about. But, yeah, that Boye Mafe thing gives you a little bit of pause, right? And that's the one kind of negative thing that I see from this practice report. That's making me think to myself, wait a minute. How does that work? What happened here? But they're saying he's going to play, and they're saying that there's not any real doubt about it, so I'm happy to rock with that as well. All right, so that's it for this Seattle Seahawk practice report and Mike Macdonald press conference report. We got a pretty good idea of what's going on right now. I would still say that Metcalf is unlikely to play, but I don't know. What do you guys think about this? Do you think Macdonald's messing around? Do you think he's just trying to make sure the Bills can't prepare for a DK-less team completely? Because, man, he didn't practice at all this week. To me, that spells a player that's going to miss the game. But, you know, Metcalf, he's built differently. We know that. We've seen this before. So, I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think that he's just messing around, or is this actually something that can happen? Like, there's no rule against placing a player that you pretty much know is not going to play on the doubtful list to mess with another team, right? There's no rule against that. So, I'm going to get out of here. After this video uploads, I'm going over to Twitch, and I'm starting the Halloween week horror game marathon. Tonight, we are starting with what should be Amanda the Adventurer 2. If you want to see me stream that, head on over to Twitch right after you're done with this video. We're getting underway there. See you guys later. Go Hawks.